Now at 5:30, strong winds caused quite a bit of damage here in Lexington on Christmas Eve. You'll hear from some holiday travelers.
We also have more on a deadly shooting that killed a 19-year-old in Winchester. 2 people have been charged for the crime.
And we're tracking the investigation into a Lexington robbery. Police say a man threatened a motel employee with a handgun.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning and welcome to WKYT News. I'm Mark Barber.
And I'm Whitney Wetzel. Thanks so much for joining us on your Christmas morning. Not feeling very Christmas-like outside today, though.
No, a little chilly, but not really a white Christmas, at least that we're seeing yet. So how about it, Micah? Are we going to see any more snow today?
Yeah, I don't think we'll see much. We'll see some flakes here and there, but like we were talking about just about, I don't know, 15 minutes ago, it just doesn't look like accumulating snow out of this. If we do, you may get some on rooftops, may on cars. But for the most part, the grounds are just fine. They're really warm. I mean, we've been in the 50s and 60s the past couple of days. So those grounds are way too warm to get anything really sticking out there. So all in all, it actually turns out pretty well. Got a few sprinkles. And you see a lot of green as opposed to white, which means more of this is just your sprinkles, a few rain showers here and there. Temperatures, look at that, upper 30s to lower 40s. And as we finish off the workday, say work day for some of us, 41 degrees by the afternoon, that morning mix. And then we look toward the weekend, because the weekend's a big weekend. Traveling to Louisville, wherever you're going to be, staying around here, it's going to be pretty rainy. We'll go over the latest trend coming up in a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Micah. Now new this morning, part of Old Richmond Road is still closed after a late-night wreck.
The wreck happened on Old Richmond Road around 10:30 last night. Lexington police say the vehicle ran off the road and struck a utility pole. They've closed that road as Kentucky Utilities works to fix the pole there. They expect it to be back open around 7 or 8 this morning. The driver was taken to the hospital. Police say he had non-life-threatening injuries, but they're still investigating why he ran off that road. Well, it wasn't exactly smooth sailing for some Christmas Eve travelers. Yesterday afternoon, strong winds knocked out power to thousands of people in Lexington.
Yeah, at one point, even Bluegrass Airport was in the dark. Slick roads also caused quite a bit of trouble for drivers. Garrett Weimer continues our first alert weather coverage.
From crashes to inconveniences, travelers on Christmas Eve had their share of problems. You can blame it in part on the wind. It knocked out power at the Bluegrass Airport on a busy day for flyers.
It was more bizarre than disturbing. You know, it was very, eerie to see the sky darkening and all these people wanting to get to where they're going.
Wind also blew down some utility lines and knocked out power to traffic lights. Police directed traffic at several intersections in the area. The slick roads also made things tougher on drivers.
It's really wet out there and the water's laying on the pavement. And we did see an accident on 75 that was, it looked like they had hydroplaned from the water laying so thickly on the road.
Drivers say the wind and rain are the kind of conditions that make you have to pay even more attention behind the wheel.
Nobody wants tragedy on such a wonderful holiday, you know. It just makes things a lot tougher. And
even with the problems at the airport, travelers say folks were still showing Christmas cheer.
No screaming, no shouting. Holiday spirit, is alive and well.
In Lexington, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
New this morning, Lexington police are looking for a man who robbed a motel employee. Police tell us the robbery happened around 10:30 last night at the New Circle Inn. They say a 20-year-old white man standing about 5'10" with a short beard, brown jacket, and dark pants showed a gun to an employee and demanded cash. After he took the money, he took off. Canine units tried to track him but lost the trace.
2 people face charges in connection to a shooting that killed a young woman and injured 3 others. Winchester police arrested Lamont Wilkerson and Lillian Barnett. Wilkerson has been charged with murder and burglary. Barnett faces a complicity charge. Police say Tuesday night's shooting stemmed from a home invasion. They say Barnett drove Wilkerson and 2 other men to the Summit Apartments. Police say those 3 men forced their way inside an apartment there. Eventually, shots rang out, and police say one of the bullets went through the floor and killed 19-year-old Amber Caudill, who was in the apartment below.
We've been trained and we know how to handle these type of investigations. Surely we don't deal with them on a regular basis like some other cities.
Police say the 3 other people shot are still in critical condition. They also say they're still looking for another person of interest in this case.
Amber Cottle's friends and family tell us she was a great person who wouldn't hurt anyone. The 19-year-old was a college student who lived with her boyfriend and his mother. Cottle's boyfriend says they heard gunshots in the apartment above them and tried to take cover, but police say she was hit by a bullet that came through the ceiling.
We thought she fell and she might have hurt herself, and then when I came back to look at her, she was the blood just kept forming. So.
Family members say Hearn Funeral Home in Stanton is planning Cottle's funeral.
Just days after 2 New York City police officers were shot to death, people across the country are finding ways to show their support for police. Many people gathered for a rally in Louisville Wednesday afternoon. They say their goal was to show peace instead of violence. Organizers of that rally asked people to put their right hand over their hearts when they see an officer. In response to that, officers were asked to put their right hands over their chest.
The controversial movie The Interview will be shown in Central Kentucky. Sony Pictures originally pulled the plug on the movie last week after some threats. The movie includes a plot to kill North Korea's leader, but hundreds of independent movie theaters expressed interest in showing the movie, so Sony changed its mind. The theaters of Georgetown will be among those showing The Interview, along with a theater in Pikeville and a theater in Louisville. Well, giving or receiving new gadgets this Christmas, whether it's a smartphone or a laptop, keep some basic tips in mind.
Karen Kafa has the details in today's Consumer Watch.
Topping lots of wish lists and appearing under lots of Christmas trees, new tech toys. Many devices will suggest a fully charged battery before use, but for gadget lovers who just can't wait, Consumer Reports says you're probably okay.
It's not a terrible idea to do that because, you will have the benefit of a full charge, but lithium-ion batteries, which is what are used in most cell phones, laptops, etc., they usually come with at least a little bit of charge on them, so you should be able to use the device immediately.
Before hopping on the internet with a new smartphone, tablet, or laptop, go to the Settings tab to adjust privacy settings. These should get particular attention when giving devices to kids.
You might want to look through the parental controls. Usually that's in the settings, and you can enable any restrictions that you feel that'll make you feel comfortable giving that to your son or daughter.
It's also smart to check for the latest software update and antivirus protection. And if that gift isn't a perfect fit,
one, make sure that you have the receipt. If you don't have the receipt, at least figure out what store you got it from. And don't go taking it out of the box if you're not going to use it, because that's generally a no-no for when it comes to the returns the next day.
Retailers often charge restocking fees for those returned electronics that have been opened. For Consumer Watch, I'm Karen Kafa.
Coach John Calipari and the UK basketball team spent their Christmas Eve spreading a little holiday cheer. As you can see from these Facebook pictures, they hosted a party for some very special guests at Wildcat Lodge. Among them, Maddie Blankenship, an 8-year-old Scott County girl who we recently introduced you to. Maddie has a rare disease that compromises her immune system, but she doesn't dwell on being sick and has instead inspired people with her message of making things matter.
While you can still watch WKYT this morning, we won't be back on the air again until 5 o'clock this evening. That way we can give our employees time to spend with their families on this Christmas day. Instead, you can watch the beloved Christmas Story episode of The Andy Griffith Show starting at 10 o'clock this morning. And then you can watch the Alltech holiday celebration of Song at noon. Lastly, you can watch Behind the Lens at 4 o'clock this afternoon. That'll be a look at some of WKYT's stories that shaped 2014.